Housing is something that many games promise and that you want to have in a lot of games. And we wanted to have it too. Albion is about building things up, and building your own house is a big part of that experience. However, we were never happy with just having a house that is decorated, that has no purpose but to be beautiful. And therefore we developed the Laborer system. The Laborer system fills your house with life, it fills it with purpose, gives you something to do with your player house. Laborers can perform a variety of tasks for you, and this is to allow you to suit them to your playstyle. So if you're a gatherer, you probably want to fill your house with gathering laborers. People who cut wood or gather stone or gather iron ore. To give a task to a laborer, you will need to give him a journal. A journal is an item you can acquire in an empty state from the laborer himself. So a woodcutter, for example, will be selling you woodcutting journals. And when you then go out and collect wood yourself, every time you do it, a note will be put into the journal.
When you've got a nice full journal full of notes, then you take it back to your laborer and say, here's my notes for the day, go do something useful with this, and they'll follow your notes and go and cut down trees themselves and bring you back some more wood. You probably want to pick a laborer that matches the kind of things that you normally do in the game. So if you do a lot of gathering, like you cut a lot of trees down, a woodcutting laborer would be really good for you, a lumberjack. If you mine a lot, you want a mining type laborer. If you craft, there are crafting laborers, and if you spend a lot of time, hunting the various factions in Albion, you can hire a mercenary laborer who will do that for you as well.
Laborers level up by performing tasks. The more tasks they do, the more experience they will gain, and once they've gained enough experience, they will be ready to level up. By upgrading your laborers, they will perform better, they will give you more resources for each task you give them, and they will be able to give you better resources. Leveling them up, however, comes at a cost. They will rise in their expectations, they will just require better furniture, better decorations to be happy, because they now feel they deserve it.
Much like in real life, you need to keep your workers happy in Albion Online. If you've got some laborers, then they're going to have certain requirements. They're going to want a decent bed and a decent table.
But there are a lot of ways to go beyond this. So, for example, by placing trophies which are specific to the laborers' interests, you can increase their happiness. A mercenary, for example, will be very interested in martial trophies. So if you have swords on the walls or armors displayed, he will become happy. A woodcutter will be more interested in samples of woods or small saplings that you place in the house. And therefore your house will start to reflect the types of laborers that you have in them.
If your laborers are unhappy, then as they lose happiness, which happens over time, they will start to return less from their jobs. They're not working as hard, they're not as motivated, they're not as effective. And below a certain point, they just won't work for you anymore. They'll stay in your house, but they won't go out on jobs because they're just not getting a good night's sleep and they don't feel up to it. One of the interesting things about the way the laborers are set up is that they can't just replace you doing work yourself. If you're not doing anything, you're not filling journals, then the laborers can't work without your notes. So it's not just a passive income source, it's a multiplier on what you're already getting.